What's up, everybody? You're live with Lucci and Kenny from Hit the Bid. What's going on, Kenny?
Chilling. What's happening?
Chilling, man. Chilling, man. So a lot of things have been happening in the market since we got together last week, last Monday, I believe. We had a complete sort of V-shaped recovery in the markets. A lot of people accounted that towards a couple of things, but we've been seeing a lot of this, like this, a lot of washout on this kind of bullshit panic, huh? And
Yeah.
what was the panic this time? It was Russia, right? It was Russia, the ruble getting smoked, and them increasing interest rates. What else was it that they used to just stifle the panic?
The price of oil was going to kill us all, right?
Price of oil, right? The whole energy market is collapsing. China slowing down. All this kind of stuff was just thrown at us, and then everybody just kind of panicked and got the hell out. And apparently, as usual, we just don't give a shit about any of that, and we're right back up here.
It's also December. That's why I refuse to hold on to anything short. I just sat and waited it out. Usually I love shorting stocks, but I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
I missed my beautiful entries. I'm going to just wait till this is over. And
Yeah.
at 100 spot 60 on the QQQ, that was it. Once we got back above that, I needed 101.30 to be convinced, and then 103 to be really convinced. I think we just trickle up to the highs of the year now, back to like 106 and change.
Yeah, I think they actually pegged it right at the close there. I think they pegged it at the close. I think maybe if I'm not mistaken. I don't know with that SPY dividend or whatever, but I think we're pretty much there. But absolutely, I do think we roll up higher. Are you generally a short trader? Like, are you generally on the short side here, or are you generally on the long side, or you both sides?
Well, now that I'm in predominantly cash, I'm a reversal trader. Reversals and VWAP. So if something is reversing, like here, for instance, it was very subtle, but one of these piece of garbage biotechs that's been getting hammered lately, SRPT.
Yeah. A lot of people talking about this thing.
Yeah, you know what? I just happened to have it on my screen, and at around what time was this? Around 12:30, it
Yeah.
breaks my 1 minute VWAP, which was around $12.95. And then, I figured, you know what? If it gets above this 1 minute, you got 10 or 15 cents before it goes green. So I put on a little trade there, as like an anticipation. And then when it went green, I think it was $13.20.
Right.
I bought more at 13.20. 13.25 was my special sauce called the multi-day VWAP.
Oh
And I
boy.
just held it into the close. And it wasn't a big trade, but again, I love these reversals. They generally work. And in a market where it's kind of boring,
Right.
you want to trade the high probability trades,
Yeah.
like these reversals, like Rig. Rig is one of my favorite longs for 2015,
Yep.
but they gapped it up today and it rolled over. So on the flip side of buying stocks when they go green is short them when they go red. This was a great trade today. Shorting it, opened up at 1987, went red at 1975, went down a point.
Right. Right.
I love reversals, and I stick to the VWAP, and
Now, when they stretch from VWAP significantly, are you also fading? Are you also fading the move at some point, assuming they'll go back to VWAP? Are you doing that too?
that's when I'm a little bit more active. Now I'm just trying to I want to be the first guy in and maybe the second or third guy out. I
Right.
just right now, especially in this market where I'm not expecting any monster moves.
Right.
Even on a stock like SLXP today, this is a big stock, SLXP. When it got back above 117 was a significant spot, but then it went green at 117.
Yeah.
36, I think it was.
Yeah.
And you get your 35, 40 cents out of it. It's a big stock. You should get a little bit more.
Yeah.
GoPro was a miracle today. Reversal back into the green.
Yeah. A lot of these Momo names that have been really weak, they caught some buying today. GoPro has obviously been, getting distributed definitely. I think you see a 40 handle on this, despite the rally that you saw today. But yeah, I mean that was a pretty decent run, huh? I mean this is like a 7% move here.
Yeah. And the strange thing is, more of the lockup happens tomorrow. So this is bizarre.
Right.
I think maybe it's one of them sucker moves where they're sucking you in, or just they want to print the higher tape and then they'll just hammer it down a gap tomorrow. Who knows? But
Yeah.
again, I'm not a fan of GoPro either. It's a broken momentum stock. But everyone, when they find a bottom, like Tesla the other day at 195, everyone's convinced this thing's going to 170. goes green, tacks on 30 points. You know,
Yep.
that's why I like these reversals, because not only does it give you an intraday setup, but it also often translates into a swing trade, like the rig long. It was a beautiful reversal at around $16.10 that day, and I've been long ever since. You know, not a lot, but you know.
Right. For last week, what was going on in my world was really the Facebook and the LinkedIn. So if you noticed, you remember that 25 handle gap up day, right? That we had that really just caught every single short, and we just had a monster squeeze that whole day.
Yes.
And Dow was up 400 points. So LinkedIn gapped up to like 224, bro, and then just went to 230 in about 15 minutes. Literally 15 minutes, and the next day ripped to like 245. To a fresh all-time high. Facebook, this was the one that I tried to catch right off the open. I got a couple good trades, but now she's right back up here to 82. I mean, I could have had a nice 3-day long. And again, it's weird how like when you're in the moment, and you see that 20-point gap up day, and the whole move was bullshit, right? The whole short move was bullshit. You still can't really grab your balls and then go after it like that, because it's always the timing thing. So always on the backs of moves like that, you see these big picture breakouts because nobody's really expecting them, and that's when they tend to run. So this Facebook here just broke out through $80, which is a move that I've been waiting for weeks,
Right, yeah.
And then boom, we get a 25 handle gap up. Like I'm not thinking with the foresight like, I'm gonna hold this till like 82. I'm just like, dude, all right, let's just scalp this. I got a quick 70 cents. I got the hell out of it, assuming that the SPY wasn't going to keep going back to all-time highs, and lo and behold, we're right there a fucking day later, man.
The market, yeah, it's incredible how many times it comes back. And let's not forget the Facebook quarterly report where everybody was actually giving up on Facebook. I was like, are you? It was down 6 points, and it was like the end of the world for some people. And I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter and StockTwits a lot, so I just like reading these people's posts. The stock is inevitably going to 100. That's the way I look at it. So that 6 point down day was just like, okay, maybe they'll tack on another couple, and then eventually it'll rally into the end of the year. That was one of the more blatant, beautiful setups. Yep. But they don't all come back. You and I were just talking about U.S. Steel. Right. Here's a stock that I thought I'd be selling at 50, 55 probably in the next couple of days, and it's half.
Yep.
Half.
Yep. Yo, but back to the Facebook thing. You kind of look like an Instagram guy to me, man. I figured you would have been hard on the Instagram, man, on the gram.
Yeah. Oh, is that you got to call it the gram?
Yeah, you got to call it the gram, man. He's going in on the gram. That's what they. That's what
the slang with the kids. No, my son's got an Instagram account. I always thought it was just the kids' version of Facebook. I don't even have an account yet. But,
you should get it. There's a lot of shenanigans going on the gram, man.
Really? Maybe I should be concerned for my kids.
They would give you a lot of content. They would give you, yes, you should be concerned for your kids, absolutely, on the gram. However, it would give you a lot of content for your comedic styling. You know what I mean?
I got you. But what's the other one where they just post like 20-second?
The Snapchat.
No, it's not Snapchat. It's something else. It's like 20-second videos, and it's
fine.
Oh, is that what it is? Yeah, that actually is pretty funny. So you just capture something that's funny, and they just keep looping it.
Yep.
Now here's a question: which is the website to find strange women that are just looking for some action that night?
Tinder. That's Tinder.
You know your websites, all right?
That's Tinder. Tinder. This is why I need you to get on the shit. That way we can rant for a little bit on it. You know what I mean? And just do it for shits and giggles. Don't actually use it for any specific purpose here. Just mess around on it. Anyways, man, let's roll into 2015, man. What are you looking for? Or actually, what are you looking for the rest of the year? I mean, honestly, I'm thinking pretty low volume here for the rest of the year. But I think we float up, just like you said. Float up to those all-time highs. You got to be real selective on your certain names. Like today, honestly, in my world, the only good names were Google and Priceline. Look at this Priceline rip 40 points today, bro.
That's insanity. I don't even watch that stock anymore. I used to use it as an indicator for the market health until it stopped working.
Yeah.
So what I'm looking at now is the demise of the VIX again, basically telling us that all is clear. I mean, the VIX is a broken product, in my opinion, and the UVXY is just the most insane thing I've ever traded in my life.
That's what everybody goes to a new VIX product after one just gets burnt, and then there's too many shares, and it just gets, the price goes to nothing. So everybody just rolls to the new VIX product. Yo, but we should really just create our own, man. They're making a killing off this stuff, man.
Create our own fear index thing, right?
Yeah, But yeah, UVXY, crazy. You were saying, they're pretty much showing the road.
Right, yeah. I mean, once they start to spike, the VIX was spiking before the entire market rolled over. You had your big names, you had your Apple, Amazon, Baidu, Priceline, Tesla, Netflix, and LinkedIn, and GMCR were having their issues, and the VIX was going up, but the rest of the market was just like levitating, and then the shit hit the fan, and we finally sold off. Then the VIX collapsed, and all's well now again. So
all is well.
Until the VIX starts spiking again, I'm gonna be just playing the market on the long side generally.
Cool. So you're waiting until drift back to VWAP, and you're buying VWAPs in some of the strong names that you're looking at, or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it really doesn't. I mean, like I said, a lot of people they do homework and they're searching for ideas. I let the ideas come to me. I have my watch list is what, maybe, let's see, I got 200. I got like 270 stocks, 300 stocks that I'm always watching.
Right.
So I'm just scrolling through them, and I put them up on the chart, and if every once in a while one comes up to it, looks like a decent idea, that's what I'm trading for the day, Right. As far as U.S. Steel's concerned, I don't know. I don't want to give up on it yet. Thank God. I thought I was panicking when I sold it in the 40s and at 37 and 32. Apparently, it was better safe than sorry. So now I'm looking for another couple of points down. I'm probably going to buy it to hang on to. So talking about 2015, I think BlackBerry, like I mentioned 2 weeks ago, I said if they sell people out of the stock on the earnings, buy that dip, and that'll be it. And so far, that has been one of the best moves I've done in a long, long time. I mean, I wish I would have traded it. Did
you buy the gap down? Did you buy the gap down?
Absolutely. When it didn't break $9, I bought the 950 calls for 10 cents. They went up 100%, so I sold them. By the end of the day, they were worth 5 times that.
Right.
Then when the stock got up to $10 at the close, and there was just nobody selling, it was sitting at about a 15-cent range. And I was like, this thing's gonna gap up on Monday and go. So I just, I held some of the stock, and I bought some February $10 calls just to give me some time. I didn't want to play with these weeklies anymore.
Yeah.
And, I'm liking that. I bought a little bit of my Alcoa back at around 14.85 again, but I'm not planning on holding on to anything. These reversals and the VWAP are treating me really well, and I'm just trying to stick with that and just find what's next. But what do you think for 2015? You think?
Dude, I am heavy on these banks right now. So I'm gonna get super stupid on this Bank of America, man. I mean, when I say super stupid, I mean like roll 10,000 contracts in an 18 call at some point.
Right.
When I feel this juice coming on. So I think with the.
By the way, that's the most exciting thing I've ever heard. 10,000. I remember when I had 1,000 options for the first time in my life. I mean, it worked out terribly for me after. I don't know if I told you that story, but it was just a fucking nightmare day it was. But I remember the first time I had 1,000 of a contract. I was sitting there just like, I'm the king of the world. I have 100,000 worth of this. Like a million shares, 10,000 contracts.
Dude, back in 2009, man, I had a 90,000 contract position, man. Like, I haven't even come close to slinging around that kind of size yet because, like, you can't, Kenny, man, you can't do it like you used to do back in 2009. Like, I get a 90,000 contract position in something. Like, the smart boys are coming out with the guns blazing, man. They will get me out of that completely. They will make me sell it back to them for pennies on the dollar, for nothing, 90% less than what I paid for it, and then they'll laugh at me while they make that move happen right in front of me, bro. That's what'll happen now, man. 2009, I could pull that shit off. Now, it's a different game, bro. It's a different game, man.
Yeah. Hey, if there was anything to buy 10,000 contracts, though, I mean, I can't believe I'm saying this. It was BlackBerry when they washed everybody out on Friday.
But for BlackBerry, you'd have to order down for that because there's not enough liquidity for you to get 10,000 contracts like that, is there?
probably not at one price, but it was trading between 970 and like 986 for a good 3 hours. So if you
Yeah,
just kept buying 100 contracts, they would have kept feeding you.
yeah, yeah,
They would have, socked it away.
yeah.
The last time I had 1,000 contracts of anything was March of 2012 on the Qs. I had 8,000 short, and it was making me some money. And the
Yeah.
market looked like it was finally rolling over a little bit. So I bought 200, then I bought 200 more, then I was up to 400. I'm like, let's go for the full 1,000. I just bought 600 more,
Yep.
and I'm running around the office. I called the top of the market. And then next thing you know, my friend says, you better get back to your desk. JP Morgan just upgraded the entire planet. And the market just skyrocketed. JP Morgan basically upgraded everything.
Yeah.
As I'm running around the office telling people how smart I am. I'm trying to sell limit orders in like 50 contract increments, and I was like, oh my God. It was
brutal. So I think Goldman has a 200 handle real soon. I think J.P. Morgan 65. I like Citigroup to go to $60, and this is all for 2015 trades.
right.
I like this Chipotle, man. Take a look at this Chipotle. I got 100 contracts in this right now for an overnight, and you'll see like the all-time high is like 690 or some shit around there, like 687 or something.
Yeah.
I think she can spin back up after that V recovery, like most of these other things did, because she never really sold off, Plus it's Chipotle, plus it represents white people as a whole. I don't think I can lose on this, bro.
Right. Listen, I remember when I was buying puts on the earnings last quarter, and I actually made money buying puts on it. And everybody on the message boards, this is it. We're finally getting it right. I'm like, guys, if it doesn't break 625, it's gonna go right back to 700 within like a week.
Yep.
No, this time it's different. The food prices are going up. I'm like, if it doesn't break 625, it's going right back up. You ignorant bastards. Yep. This is a stock this is price line of 3 or 4 years ago.
Exactly.
It doesn't have to make sense.
Exactly.
It's not about if they're selling burritos or not anymore. It's the Tesla of burritos.
Yes. This is the shit.
The stock is going to $1,000, like it or not.
Yeah, man. They're rolling out other franchises and stuff like that. But, just from a price action perspective, the V-shaped recovery, the fact that there's still buyers in this. Plus, like technically, it looks pretty good. I think if it can get over 670, I think the all-time highs or a $700 possibility is right there too. Plus, this thing can move 10, 15 points in a day, man.
Right.
So once this thing starts going, who knows what it'll end up, man. So that's basically what I'm looking for. And then minimal shorts. I would say for the banks, it's more like dip buying kind of things. Versus kind of but maybe going for a January or a February monthly and then just sitting on these things. But it's so difficult to do that now, especially as size in, man. Like if I get 10,000 contracts of a February monthly, and let's say at an average price of whatever, like 6 cents for a Bank of America or maybe 30 cents for Citi, like that option is going to fluctuate down to 15 cents, up to 50 before it shoots up to a dollar and change. So that P&L. Having to look at your P&L up and down 40 grand, 50 grand, 100 grand every single day, it's freaking taxing, bro.
I don't remember those days. I just trade now just to keep the juices flowing, and then I'm waiting to set up the next big trade. I was hoping it was going to be this FEYE, but I'm kind of repulsed at the it couldn't break on Friday's high today. I was really counting on this one today. I thought it was going to have some nice follow through. Cybersecurity, FEYE, and also cyber, but they're looking all right. You can't really put too much credibility into what's going on now, anyway. But
so you'll take some fundamental trades like this, though. You'll be like, okay, let me roll into some of these names because of all the cyber threats that are happening. You'll do that. You'll do shit like that.
Yeah, I bought it right into the Sony hack, and
yeah,
it was also coming off technically 2980 was a nice spot for it.
Yeah,
so I bought some like couple months out, some 35s just to Plus, there's a takeover rumor on the stock. Maybe one of these days I get one right. With this, I had a takeover last year. I had ILMN was the one that got taken. No, wait, ITMN.
ITMN. It was Intermune. Yeah, I remember that shit.
Yeah, I was in that before the take. I was telling everybody this thing looks like a takeover rumor. You know what I liked about ITMN is that every day, no matter how weak the stock was, it rallied into the close. I was like, this thing's getting taken over. I mean, it sits around, does nothing all day, and then it has a $1.20 spike with 5 minutes left in the day. Come on, there's people acquiring it. They want to try to keep it quiet, and they're running it at the end of the day. About 3 weeks later, it was gone. But 2015.
While we're on the topic here, man, I mean, why don't we end with this little discussion here? I mean, what do you think about these Sony hacks, bro? I mean, now they've officially called out North Korea. You know, Sony has even come out and said they're going to do this picture for free. They're just going to roll it out for free, which I thought they should have done anyway. Just stream it somewhere, and then charge for that stream instead of going public with the shit. But what do you think about this stuff, man?
What I think is that, my first instinct is I'm frightened because apparently the terrorists have won. You know,
they've won. I agree.
They've won, so I'm not happy about that. And I'm kind of just now. Will we bend to any cyber terrorist threat ever again? Like, why won't they just call the NASDAQ and say, if you don't make BlackBerry go to 15 by the end of the day, we're going to crash your whole system.
Exactly. Dude, this was something that I was talking to some other people about, Kenny, man, but they all looked at me like I was fucking insane, bro. And I don't know whether it's we live in this world and we see it in a different light, but I'm like, listen, if they can do this and they can cause, so many issues where, again, like public media just eats this stuff up. This is all anybody's talking about. And 5 years ago, we were talking about possible nuclear war, right, with North Korea. We're talking about them and nuclear missiles, and now we're here in a situation where we're blaming them, for these Sony hacks, which have caused such a stir in the media. And how is it possible that you can't believe the markets could get hacked, and all of a sudden your brokerage account, you pull that shit up one day, and it has $0 in it? Like, why is that so hard for people to believe, man? I don't know.
That's kind of half the reason I'm in cash right now, even though I think this market's going to rally probably till the end of Obama. I'm sticking to it. That was my thesis in the first place. Since the guy's been in office, like him or not, the market has gone up 90% of the time since he's been here. So I'm just going to assume, plus my baby boomer thesis is that a lot of guys, my dad, they want to get their money out of the market, but, and sooner or later they're going to be forced to take their money out of the market. So the government's running the market up to a certain extent. So if all these people who are turning, maybe they're not cashing out at 65.5, but at 70.5, they have to take their distributions.
Right.
So they're going to run it to the point where we can withstand a flux of redemptions, and not bring the market down to its knees again.
Right.
But, I find it amazing that every so often we create something to be afraid of. The price of oil, like we were talking about last week, the price of oil going down. I don't care what anybody says.
Right.
It's good.
It's good for the market. It's good for the markets. Yeah.
It's
good. Everybody was talking about possible fallout.
Somewhere down the line, there are plenty of companies celebrating this. Maybe not Exxon and Halliburton and Rig right now. But there are plenty of companies celebrating that they're not paying as much for oil and gas. And the common folk, the common consumer. They're paying 75.
Absolutely. Bottom lines are looking better across the board, man. And just like you said, man, it's crazy. But it's also the perfect timing too. It's also done at the perfect time, which always leads me to believe. And again, just like this North Korea thing, it's the perfect coincidence. You know what I mean? We're coming out with this movie about this North Korean leader getting killed, and it's the perfect coincidence here that this is happening at this time. And it's also the same thing with the SPY sitting at 208, unable to really sell off. Meanwhile, everything's getting pulled back. VIX is also coming back up. And then all of a sudden, in one day, you get all this news, and you get this giant washout that everybody just sets in the panic. And then boom, you have this monster sort of manipulated perception kind of a market here, where things are really being pulled around in both ways. There's a lot of people that lost a chunk load of money in last week, man. A lot. Traders who were trying to time things, maybe got in a little bit too quick on the dip, or tried to aggressively short, assuming we topped out, and keep going on the short. I mean, you remember the day where we opened up at 198 on the SPY, we went to 202. On that big giant candle up, and then closed 50 handles lower.
Yeah, yeah, that was the one before the one that followed through. Yeah, right.
Exactly, man. Like that shit was insane, man.
Yeah, that was a fun day because that way I had plenty of reversals to choose from on the way down.
Yeah, yeah,
Those are my kind of days. When you got a big gap up or a gap down that reverses, I mean, it's like it's free money those days. It's those days where we gap up and just grind higher all day, where I'm just sitting there just wanting to fucking smash something. I'm like, why didn't I buy something yesterday? Why didn't I just buy it now? Oh, and then it's like every 10 minutes it goes up 10 cents, and then by the
yep.
end of the day you're like, how am I not making money today? What the hell's going on here? And I swear to God, I don't know if I ever showed you this, but if you're ever thinking about, I mean, I've smashed my number of computer screens. I'm sure everybody out there has. If you're thinking about smashing a keyboard, make sure it's not an Apple keyboard because they put a metal plate behind their keyboard, which I learned the hard way. Yeah, you're not getting through this no matter how hard you try.
Damn. Damn.
That's my skull.
Damn. So you got anger issues then.
Yeah, yeah, I do.
Yeah. So you might want to check that out. You know what you should do in terms like this? You should just go and make a new music video, man. So before we wrap this all up, why don't you tell everybody where to find that music video you just did?
Yes.
And any other videos you might have that you want to point people to?
Well, I'll point to this one, guys. Yeah, please, if all you gotta do is Google search "I Fought the Fed." This is going out to everybody.
Yeah.
And again, I'm a big fan of shorting the market. I don't know whether or not I believe in the market truly. You know, it's a pyramid scheme to me. You know, obviously, but I mean, it's being controlled by the government, so there's no point in fighting it right now. But I made most of my money shorting those markets, so I'm kind of addicted to it. So
Right.
this is the song I wrote, I Fought the Fed and the Fed Won. Go Google it, watch it 25,000 times, click on the things. I get paid a nickel if you click on one of my ads. But it was a lot of fun. We had some, you know, it's been a long time coming because I've been fighting the Fed since probably 2012, where I thought we had copped out for a while.
Right.
But then, you know, luckily I said, you know what the hell am I doing here? Let me just join the party. But the song's dedicated to all the bears and the people that are blowing their accounts up, not wanting to believe in the dips, and just, you know, again, what my friend said on this last dip, I was like, what do you think? He's like, well, I'm going to buy the dip. Until it stops working, I'm going to keep doing it.
Yep.
You know, and even the guys that got made, they might have got lit up in October, but if you slept through it for an extra day, next thing you know, you were breaking back out.
You're breaking back out. Yep, absolutely, man. Absolutely. All right, man. So let's kill it here, man. Thank you for joining me, man. Let's bring it back on Monday and recap. Actually, is Monday? No, Monday's open, right? Monday we're open, right?
What day is today? I don't know. When Thursday is Christmas, right?
Thursday's Christmas. 26th is open. Yeah. So Monday is the 29th. So yeah, we're gonna be open, but we're probably gonna be slow, pretty light. So let's just relink Monday and we'll talk some Christmas shenanigans then. All right?
Oh, we could do Friday. You gonna be around day after?
Yeah, I'll be Friday. I'll be here Friday.
All right, so let's talk Friday. I mean, we had a sick day. We should try to do something like live because I mean, Friday was one of the best days. I mean, I can't say these are my best days ever. The days of me making 20, 30 grand in a day are over. I don't trade that size anymore.
Right,
but
right.
as far as percentage of winning trades and what they did, I mean, I had FEYE 3150 calls that we made, you know, 30, you know, 3 times our money on, and by the end of the day, they were
that was a big day. Yeah.
12, 13 times your money. BlackBerry was a 5-bagger.
Yep.
So, you know, I love these weekly options, and you know, a guy like you like obviously putting some size on.
I love trading this shit. Yeah.
I'll live vicariously through you.
No doubt. No doubt. Let's hit them together. No doubt. No doubt. All right, man.
All right.
Friday, man. We'll figure things out, man. Thanks for joining me, man.
Yep. I'll see you guys. Be well. Go watch my video. Good luck to you. See you on Friday.
I fought the Fed, guys.
Later. Go watch.